blessings I give to its west, north, and south. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come. Sweet, sweet Grenada. I will never, ever, ever let you down. Oh no, I'll always be your support. Right here by your side, with my arms around you to hide your weeping eyes.
Officially, I want to say a pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Since you are falling back,
welcome to another class in session program with yours truly, Royalty James.
And your neighbors stand up there.
I hope each and every one of you guys would have had a blessed weekend. And you're ready for all the challenges to face this week, alright?
Some of your friends have turned their backs on you. They don't want to see a friend with your name on it.
To the persons on my Facebook and YouTube page, I want to say blessed evening to each and every one of you guys. Go ahead right now and tag somebody. Share the live. Let them know that class is in session.
Sweet, sweet Grenada.
To the persons over on YouTube, blessed good evening to each and every one of you guys. Erika Thomas, good afternoon to you. She's been waiting for a very long while. Deborah Laborde, Faitlin Holly Douglas, good evening. Janice Mitchell, Alban Harris, good afternoon to you, my brother. Bernadette Phillip, and my dear brother Clive Raymond. Family, actually. Good afternoon, brother Raymond. To the persons listening out there in the diaspora, good evening to you. I had a recent assessment that's related to the page. New York City, you guys are on me, man. Many persons are listening from the United States. So one person all the way from Tennessee, normally on air. So wherever you are, to the persons out there in Canada, the father and stepmother of Anik Sandy, good afternoon to you and your lovely wife out there in Canada.
From all those
but many of you guys out there in Toronto, Canada that also listen, I want to say good evening.
And both to the world.
God's blessings, man. You guys are special to the airing of the program, giving a listening air what is happening here in Grenada. Alright.
But one to them, little do they know that a good name is better than great riches. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come. I will ever down. Right here, find yours with my
My apologies. Yes? Yeah, I know you guys wasn't hearing me. I muted my mic. My apologies. Yes, let me say that I want to say that over the weekend, our political leader, our visionary political leader, would have made a wonderful walkthrough session yesterday in the River Sally area. And this is what I was saying. Over the weekend, my parliamentary representative, my friend, my inspiration, we want to extend happy belated birthday to Honorable Clarice Modeste Cowan. We want to say she looked all sweet 16 on Saturday night. I know she's going to kill me for saying this. She looked all sweet 16 on Saturday night, celebrating her birthday. And so we want to extend happy belated birthday. Yes, persons I know, I'm certain that you guys are hearing me now. I would have accidentally mute my mic. Yeah? I accidentally mute my mic. Well, I guess you guys are hearing me now. So happy belated birthday to Dr. Honorable Clarice Modeste Cowan, or Honorable Dr. Clarice Modeste Cowan. I think that's the proper way. I want to extend happy belated birthday to you, celebrating 25, 26, somewhere there about. She would have celebrated over the weekend, yes? So I just want to extend happy birthday to her. And I was saying, there is so much, ladies and gentlemen, that is happening right now within the new National Party. We are inviting women to join the Women's Arm. We're inviting young people to join the NNP Youth Arm. And as they get ready for the Youth Convention that will soon be held, yes, also, if you're wanting to be a part of the executive body, not the executive body, but delegate of the party, you can also join, get your membership, pay your membership, and be a part of one of the greatest political movement, revival, return that any one person would be able to remember. Everything, the engine is being oiled, persons are active, persons are very, very, very involved. Yes, our public relation officer, I want to say hats off to our newly selected PRO, that is Brother Kitaka Mautu. Persons are still stating that they're not getting any sound. That definitely has to be something. That has to be. You might be getting the delayed process. Yes. So I am actually getting. So you may be just getting the delayed process, as you just joined, but then Joseph, and the reason why that would have passed already. You would start hearing me sooner. Yes. So there is a lot happening within the party. We're asking persons, get involved. Get involved. Here too, we want to extend the fact that we want to say to persons within your communities, within your areas, young people who are not yet registered, get them involved. Yes? The party is presently going to do a series of events that remind Grenadians and remind our young voters and persons who are just getting into the voting processes that, hey, there are things that this new National Party have done. There are things that this new National Party has done, and there is much more that will be done. Yes, young people, I don't know how many of you guys might be able to see this. But let me say to you, other than the new National Party's manifesto, I don't know how many of you guys remember this document. And I don't know how many of you guys will see this document. But let me say to you guys, this was a document made available by the new National Party during the campaign. It would have said 100 million for 100,000. And when you go into this document, you would see a lot of information that involved Grenadians. And so, let me just remind Grenadians that this continues to be our vision. This continues to be part of what we have produced for Grenadians. Don't worry, they won't take anything from it. They won't take anything from it because they are not that, how should I put it, pro-minded to do anything. They are really not that pro-minded. So they wouldn't say, let's take a look into the documentation that NNP had and let's see whether or not there's a good idea there that maybe we could pull out from it. They wouldn't do that. Yeah? They're built differently. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to start this evening's program by making you all listen to something in Grenada. And I want you guys to take from this the point I want to drive home. That our present Prime Minister, full intent, at this stage, and even when you hear others speak, it trickles down to them, but in a different light. What am I talking about? Now, when the Prime Minister addresses, or when he's addressing, always pay attention to two particular things. One, him wanting to exalt himself. It must be about Dickon Mitchell. It must be. It's nothing about the position or the role of Prime Minister. It is Dickon Mitchell. Yes? And secondly, immediately as they get the opportunity, they would attempt to ridicule the past administration. So everything. Maybe they may not say NNP, but they would always mention something that make you believe that, okay, we're doing this for the first time. And everything for them, they try to put it as historical. And so I listened to one of the clips today while doing my preparation. And I had to laugh. Because listen how simple it is. Our Prime Minister would try to exalt himself. Listen to this.
I just want to announce to the public, since I have the opportunity, that myself and the Foreign Minister and the Minister for Economic Development, that's Minister Lennox Andrews and Minister Joseph Andal, together with a delegation, will be traveling to the People's Republic of China on the 9th of January to mark the 20th anniversary of the resumption of diplomatic relations between Grenada and China. And during that time, Minister Williams will act as Prime Minister. I will be the first head of state to be visiting China.
Pause. And I pause it right there. Let me play. Let me just make sure they say, I just take a little piece of the clip. Listen to this.
For 2025. I will be the first head of state to be visiting China for 2025.
If he does not, and if he does not, if Dickon Mitchell does not do what he just did, he's not Dickon Mitchell. Now, as simple as it is, Grenada and China's relation extends to 20 years. Yeah? It extends to 20 years. The past administration, I am certain, would have bonded the delegation, ensuring that it was kept between all the years. Right? Now, the only thing Dickon Mitchell could historically mention there is that he will be the first head of state to visit China for the year 2025. Not even recognizing persons who kept that bond together. Not recognizing the persons who would have paved the way to keep that ties together. But immediately he exalts himself as the first head of state to visit China for 2025. As I said to you guys, it may seem simple, but I have watched him so often. I have watched him in his recent years. 2 years. So the fact of the matter is, this is a gentleman that is celebrating a diplomatic tie that have happened for 20 years. You have only served a mere 2 years of that delegation ties. But all you can pull from it is that you are going to be the very first head of state to have traveled to China for the very first, or the very first head of state to travel to China. Now, what is the significance of this? Ask yourself this question. Why would a man simply mention something that is so simple? It is a celebration that is simply to mark the 20 years of the diplomatic ties between China and Grenada. It's as simple as that. Somebody in the sections is saying, where was he when the relationship between Grenada and China was established? What has been his input on the relation? Even the houses given by the Grenadians, by Chinese, he take it himself and he surrogates. Somebody saying, this guy is evil in the comment section. And you guys understand what I'm saying, right? The simplest chance that Deacon Mitchell gets to exalt himself, he's going to do it, and it shows more so how much of the person we're dealing with and not so much of the role as Prime Minister. Deacon Mitchell is contradictory. This is a political organization, ladies and gentlemen, that when you say it is done, and whenever it is done, the very first thing to do is to attempt to exalt themselves. And remember last week, I read the one from the minister or the parliamentary representative for St. John's. Somebody's asking, yeah, I'm asking the same thing. No, you should have been able to say to the Grenadian people, it is a pleasure to be visiting China. After having taken office in June of 2022, we have biffed, or we would have grown the relationship by doing X, Y, or Z. And so it is an honor for you to visit as a head of state. And you should be proud that through that 20 years, that since taking office, your administration or your government, under your governance, that there has been a significant growth or development between the people of China and Grenada. But he can't say that. He can't say that. So all there is to do is to put the exaltation on himself. That is simply what he needs to do. Because you have to ask yourself the question, what is the purpose of the Prime Minister mentioning this? Why is he even talking about that? But ladies and gentlemen, you see, as I say, when you are somebody like Deacon Mitchell, it would continue to be that kind of way. But I decided I was going to start with that today, this simple one, just to break the ice. Ladies and gentlemen, my second conversation lies solely on our young people of this state. And I'm hoping that it comes out in the not too distant future as it relates to the Imani program here in Grenada. It's being alleged, and there is talks around, that the probability exists that we may see the end of the quote-unquote Imani program. I don't know whether or not the name will change. I don't know whether or not there would be a new program initiated. But we are hearing serious conversations as it relates to the conclusion as the what we know Imani program. I implore on the parliamentary representatives on the side of the government, of the opposition, that through you guys, that we can get some readily answers as it relates to that. And let me say why. It means that there's a number of young people that might be employed in the upcoming first quarter of this year. Can Grenada handle this? Now remember when Dr. Mitchell spoke as it relates to paying pension and the doom and gloom period. Remember they made it a kickstand. He said, and they say when we pay the pension, it is going to be doom and gloom. And they thought they were speaking days after. He thought that Dr. Mitchell's statement meant that doom and gloom would be paid. If you paid it in November, by December there would be doom and gloom. But there is a word I remember Dr. Mitchell always mentioning, and he likes to use those words, that he always tried to put things in place that it does not affect government to come or even members within his party after he would have left office or end politics. I don't know how many of you guys have often heard Dr. Mitchell always mentioning things that he wouldn't like to leave his party or another party in that level of debt or depth. And so we have seen and we will continue to see in the very first quarter of this year, take my word for it, that this pension conversation would start to kick its effect as of this year. What we would start seeing is all the nice outlined projects and ideas that you heard of last year, you would hear of them no more. Now of January, remember of January of this year, we were supposed to have information concerning the statutorizing of our medical facility here in Grenada, Carriacou, PD, Martinique. Now I wish the person is listening to me right now, because they did send me a documentation as it relates to government ending its partnership. But I cannot speak to whether or not it was the same entity that government would have stated that they brought them here to make an assessment to health and see whether or not they can improve the health system and so on and so forth. Because I want to not get into that information yet. I want to research it for tomorrow. But if persons do have the information now, you could start sending it to me. But at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the 15th of January, we are yet to hear government's conversation and as it relates to the assessment made thus far by the private entity they had integrating with our medical facilities. Because you see, I always say, ladies and gentlemen, NDC like headlines. Persons or a private entity from the United States is working along with our doctors and nurses to improve the healthcare system. Full stop. And they make that a headline. But the fine print, when they start getting down to the nitty-gritty of things, you start, like programs like this, start to make it make sense. So when we come and we give you guys this information, we're not giving you on the basis of hatred, but we're giving you on the basis of knowledge. And so when you hear them put up the headlines, we have to be careful. So we are at this stage here now, and I don't know who have the information, whether or not you all had any conversation anywhere else as it relates to the healthcare system. Yeah? So if you have it, let me know. But as of tomorrow, I'm going to dig deeper into it. Let me read a comment from the comment section, and I want you guys to get interactive. I like how Annette Mitchell is going this afternoon. She says our young persons have realized that this government played them. And this government don't care a thing about how they treat young people. Pay attention to all the promises that was made during the last election. Most of these promises was made to entice and trick young people. Number one, making everyone permanent. Contract workers is illegal. Project 500 to improve mainly youths in the decision-making process and to open opportunities for young people to establish businesses and educate them. But pay attention, for this government is doing is to encounter growth, development, and advancing the young people in this country. Now let me say this, and that you make me drum the gun. Because there was a small clipping, and I want to play this. Basically, this piece is being taken out from the Simon Says program. And I decided I was going to talk about it today, even with the conversation of young people. But I realized that in going through today, I realized Sister Jenny would have touched on it. So I just want to play this clip here from Sister Jenny's program, Simon Says, that was aired. And she spoke about the same thing that this comment was mentioning. Just listen, take a listen.
I played politics with the governance of this country. It was an election ploy to win votes that have us in this mess now. The promise to regularize all contract workers in 12 months after coming into office. That's it.
The National Democratic Congress commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office. At my very first press conference on becoming political leader of the National Democratic Congress, I made it clear that under National Democratic Congress government there will be one public service.
Yes. So the benefits we told them that becoming permanent, they should be a part of the benefit. It's the same 1958 pension plan. And you want one public service. So how is it now that you have a public service that's under the 1958 pension plan where it's non-contributory, and you want now to have that other public service across there that has to contribute towards their pension plan?
So, ladies and gentlemen, and it brings to what Annette Mitchell is basically mentioning. The headlines, the highlights, the conversations that you would have heard, the renting of Grenelec vehicles to help our farmers. Yes, the farming the agriculture that you would have seen in Grenada that would have been a wow. That was mentioned by I don't know if you guys heard that one when it was mentioned by our dear Minister for Agriculture. And I'm hoping that my hands fall on it. Let me get it. And again, this one is compliments Sister Rapier's program. Let me just play it. Because I tell you, they say a lot of things during the election, and we don't want to forget it.
I say there will be a turnaround of this economy. I say when they can bring virus, they can bring whatever pandemic they want, whatever hurricane will come, when we embark on our way to agriculture, we will survive any crisis that hit this nation. That is a direction, that is the level of independence we want with our people, my brothers and sisters. We don't want no economy that when we have a simple hurricane and a simple pandemic, that our people are going into a state of panic. We want an economy where we can survive without the planes coming here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's another one from the campaign. That is Mr. Persuader speaking during the campaign. Him not yet being the Minister of Agriculture. I tell you, I have a way sometimes when we pray to God and we ask God for blessing, and God realizes that, hey, listen to me, this is not your calling. So then He grants it to us, But He grants it to us to show us that it is not for us. Sometimes I feel God does do that. So then God gives us things and it's not for us, but He just wants us to learn the lesson from it. So He spoke there, ladies and gentlemen, during the campaign as it relates to a better economy, as it relates to agriculture before the general election. He spoke as it relates to, he don't want Grenadians to be in a sense of panic when a little hurricane pass. Be careful, little mouth, what you say. And so God granted him what he asked for. God say, here is the title in which you're seeking. And ladies and gentlemen, God said thereafter, let me put you to the test. God said, you said that you want to ensure that when you take that office in which you got that office. It was given to you, the office of Minister of Agriculture. And you said once you get that office, the economy will be driven by agriculture. You said, that even a little hurricane pass, that the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique would not run into shock. In July of 2024, after 2 years, after God granted you that gift, and He gave you that opportunity, He said, here is what you ask for, my child. And God said to him, let me test you now. And God sent for him a hurricane in July of 2024. What happened here in Grenada? Gone past panic. There were more planes and boats in Grenada that we would have seen even during the passage of Hurricane Ivan and Emily put together. School children was not even being fed thereafter. Not fully well that it was only affected by our sister island. And even here in Grenada, we had struggles to get simple farm products. But that was the words of a campaign gimmick. Because you want it so bad, you mouth open, words jump out. So you tell the Grenadian people that once you win, agriculture in Grenada would just turn around. The economy would be booming. And so God say, here my child, look. And last year, agriculture was at its worst state after the passage of a hurricane that did not even hit the mainland Grenada. But ladies and gentlemen, I bring you back to the promises that was made. So let me tell you 3 words that go together. Agriculture, Persuader, and Lacroix. This is the 3 words that go together right now in Grenada when it comes to agriculture here in Grenada. Agriculture, Persuader, and Lacroix are the 3 words that rhyme in Grenada here when it comes to the development and the quote-unquote economy. We would have been able to see that Persuader had promised Grenadians once he would have gotten the office. And now that he have gotten the office, the only word that rhymes with agriculture is Persuader and Lacroix. Because I don't know if it's Persuader that kill it or it kill Persuader. But if one of them not careful, they go end up by Lacroix. It goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a political organization that said all that they had to fool you and me. Well, again, not many of us here was fooled. Not many of us. Because we knew better. We knew better. Ladies and gentlemen, what brought a further diminishing to agriculture is the MNIB conversation, and let's not forget about it. Yeah? Let's not forget the MNIB conversation. In 2022, our Prime Minister stated that a board of men or persons would have been put together. And those persons' main intent was to assess what is going on in Marketing Board. He came later on and he said he believes that with an involvement of a private entity would aid in the development of MNIB. Later on down the road, they were doing a series of meetings in different areas with farmers. Not too long after, we heard the resignation of the chairperson that was placed on that board. Why he stated that he resigned is because he mentioned that he believed that there was a lot that the Prime Minister was not allowing him to do.
I am a Grenadian. Yes, man. Grenada, Grenada, the land where I was born. I know you were suffering. Men have raped you, and the
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for one moment there, I'm having a little dry throat. I'm just coming over a little flu that I had. It didn't put me down, but gave me a little dry throat and a little cough. And so I think it's affected me a little bit more with the AC that is on here. So I do apologize for that break right there. Yes, but we was on the conversation as it relates to what the then chairperson of Marketing Board would have mentioned. As it relates to his hands were basically tied as to what he would have presented as the person in charge of the board and the opportunities that he wanted that was not granted to him. And so that played a significant part in his decision making for not continuing with the process in Marketing Board. The question is no, ladies and gentlemen. If we have looked at the level of rainfall for the past few months, the Almighty seriously would have blessed a lot of our farmers. Many might have lost here and there, but for short crops and so on, I know a lot of our farmers will now have in their possession, after harvesting, a lot of products. The question now is, what are they going to do with it? What has government implemented? We see they bringing a host of livestock, so they were expecting now that, you see, and it is amazing how much these people are contradictory. Because I remember one of the things where the Prime Minister spoke when it comes to data and data collection, and you don't want to just do something without not first collecting data. I cannot understand why and how government should have just jumped into the decision of accepting livestock. Our country, in terms of livestock and develop and farmers being involved in livestock, is not so heavy. There is not much persons involved in our livestock industry. So a lot of what you see happening in Grenada is short crops. Our farmers is most or mainly short crops, because our farmers within our country are not, it's very rare you would get young people doing farming right now. And there's a fact. But government has not initiated, implemented anything to cause young people to be part of the agriculture sector. Now, when you look at farming is 45, 50, 53, 60, 60 somebody in some cases. So you again, and you see, when we do this, I want to be able to bring to light that these people are not doing assessment and are running this country helter-skelter. Because there is no data collection that this political organization and government can present to me that there have been a significant increase in livestock farming. So why you bring all these animals here? Because, again, headline, the government has brought in X and X amount of our livestock for distribution. Have you seen them distributed? How many persons have you known in your constituency, in your country, in your parish? How many persons you know that are benefiting from this? That is NDC for you. That is NDC for you. We also want to touch on the conversation, like I see some persons are asking in the comment section. Budget and budget reading. You know what is disrespectful about all this? The mere fact that they continue to ignore it blatantly. Yes, we know it have happened in the past. It is okay for government to read a budget very early in the year. Recently, the Minister of Finance stated that he gave the okay for some ministries in excess of $400 million to go ahead and start the process for the year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you don't think if the government gives an okay for $4 million to state, you can't simply tell the people what are the things that you have given the okay for? Whether it be salary payment, whether it be outstanding payments, whether it be employment. I mean, come on. You owe this on to us because you're not reading a budget. So I'm of the belief at this stage, okay, the Minister of Finance does a briefing, a press briefing, and simply mention, okay, even if the budget has not been read as yet, and we're looking to read it in March, we have given the okay and sign off on certain things, that $400 million are now accessible to different parts or different ministries to conduct states building. We expect that to happen. We don't expect it to hold it back. But, I mean, be respectful enough to tell the Grenadian people what is going on with their finances now. Let the Grenadian people at least know what is going on with their finances. When you were elected, this is one of your mandate, to be transparent to our people. Somebody saying in the comment section, this air pilot and his clans are a waste of time, doing absolutely nothing in Grenada. They fail to understand how democracy works. The behavior shows that they have absolutely no respect for the Grenadian people. And that is what is left to be said. Because you guys, The way I've seen you all been traveling, what I don't know if I don't know if the opposition side could demand it. I don't know if it could be made public. I wish I could lay my hands on the expenditure of this present government as it relates to travels. I would love to place my hand on the documentation. Because I am certain the level of its exorbitance would wow a lot of us. Every single month, a delegation is out of state. Every single month. 10 days can't pass. 15 days. And a delegation is not out of state. Like Grenada is being run out of state. The behavior worsens every single day. And mind you, with all the travels that you hear that is happening, check the conditions of the airport. Ask the personnel of the airport, what has government implemented within aviation for the past 2.5 or so years? Ask aviation. Go ahead. Find out what government has given to aviation in this country. All we have seen is that a lot of these different airlines and so on have improved on their services. But when it comes to the personnel at the airport security, ASG, find out what is going on there. Find out what is going on there. A lot of the benefits are basically coming from the airlines in which they work for. And when they're leaving, as somebody said in the comment section, it's not one of them. It's a set of them that go in. A set of them. Boyfriend and girlfriend traveling. Not husband and wife, you know. Boyfriend and girlfriend. Ministers with their children. They're just liming on the state's fund. You have realized the lull in our 51st independence celebration? You realize the lull? Quiet, eh? Very quiet. Because they realized last year, they trick us. We still await this, ladies and gentlemen.
At the end of the celebrations, we'll undertake an economic impact assessment and publish the results.
Playing that again.
At the end of the celebrations, we'll undertake an economic impact assessment and publish the results.
Ladies and gentlemen, these were the words of our Minister of Finance. This is the gentleman that says that they were going to take an assessment as it relates to the expenditure and so on and so forth after the independence celebration last year. As we head into the 51st, it is still contradictory. It is still contradictory as to that expenditure. What they said? 75 million. Ladies and gentlemen, understand when we do these programs, it's not geared to condemn, you know. It is geared to educate. And many other persons on their program will tell you this. It is geared to educate, not condemn, but educate. Understanding, ladies and gentlemen, that we're 5 months away from a government to celebrate 3 years in office. And what has been the accomplishment? What has been the initiatives? What has been the implementation? The Prime Minister speaking about things like True Blue Main Road, the Marlene project. Let me say to you guys, the basis or the basic function of governance are those things. And ever since, in the days of the past administration, any friend of mine will tell you, that used to be that is my motto. You see, when government build road, I could never judge government on building road and fixing road. I could never do that. You see, when government come and they say, well, okay, they go help somebody with a little house, I don't judge government on that. And let's come out of this primitive thinking. Those things are wear and tear. Roads are being used every day. And whether or not the government remains in office or government change, the roads are going to deteriorate some way or the other. We faced only 2 weathers in Grenada: hot and wet. And you know what happens with this kind of condition? When it is extremely hot, we know what happens. And when the rain falls and it cools, what is going to happen? It's like simply taking out the ice in the fridge and throwing water on it. It is going to crack. Once you change that condition, it is going to crack. It is going to crack. So, ladies and gentlemen, when government tell you, oh, we fix road what? That is your role and function. Because those things are not made to stay there as long as it is going to deteriorate. Drains and boundaries and you're getting more lifestyle. There's a changing technology. There's more vehicles on the road, so on and so forth. When you go back and tell me government fixing road and government, I don't want to hear government fix road. As the government, I support and continue to support. They gave to me a national stadium. They gave to me a bus terminus and a cruise ship terminal. Huh? The different sporting facilities in Grenada, they would have uplifted it and upgraded it. Yes. Young men and young women that was on the street, they introduced programs, the Imani program, the Fly program, the Empower program. Now, when you have a government with those initiatives and you can ensure that you can impact the lives of people differently, you see what happened? And here we transform. Now we can boast of the Kirani James. We can boast of the Kirani James and other medalists. The initiation of a government who decided my young people are going to excel like every other country. So National Stadium. Our cricketers, Andre Fletcher, Devon Smith. Remember, we grew up in a time when we only knew of who? We heard about Roy Lewis and we heard about Junior Murray. Eh? Now we have Miss Fletcher, both Fletchers, Devon Smith. We had Mr. Pascal at one time. Yeah? Many names now can be mentioned because of the development in sports and sporting facilities. The cruise ship terminal, not just here, but in Carriacou. Government impact the life of people that are tourist vendors. Taxis associations came together. And there were men who, okay, I don't want to just run a bus, I want to do a taxi system. Men was importing their vehicles just to do taxis. People started to register at tourist vendors on Grandlands Beach and other areas, Annadale, impacting the life of others. Granatang, That is where you see development. Come about fixed road. That government fixed road and government build road. Government build house. Houses and so on. These things are going to dilapidate. They're going to finish. They're not built and meant to stay forever. So when you come and talk this thing, I don't want to hear these things on them. The money program. Impacting the life of young persons. Billions of dollars for young people. An assessment was done. They said, listen to me, you have too much of money in the program. Let's do empower. Let's take out our young men. Let's see what is going on with our young men. They did this program. They say, you know what? There's still young men that are still afraid to come forward. The fly program was introduced where they're going to them. They're going to those at the community saying, that one get in trouble, you get locked up. You get tiffin every day. Past administration say, let's go and see what is going on with them. There are young men today that owns jobs and different places, even in the ministry today, from those programs. This is the things I want to hear government talk about in my ears. These are the things. Bus services were being affected. The fluctuation of gas prices. Past administration say, you know what? Let's cushion the effects for you guys. It is not going past $15. Say, let's try it out. It is not going past $15. And it cushion the effect. Now here, Prime Minister want to speak about doing a pilot program for school children. You see how these people think? The main persons that are being affected in Grenada right now when it comes to the bus system are our employees, our workers. There is no issue going on in Grenada when it comes to school children going to and from school. Let us be realistic in Grenada. Children in the morning, they get their buses to travel and to and from school. And most of the schools are within most children that go to school is maybe the St. George's area. That maybe some children have to go a distance. But in our outer parishes, St. Mark's, St. Patrick's, most of the students that attend those schools are within here to there. Talking about you want to start a project or a program. You know? And you remind them about a program. And the persons that are being affected are the persons that are standing up 4 o'clock in the evening. 5 o'clock in the evening and there is no buses. Not our school children to go home. Our school children that are affected by our bus system. There are men and women that are leaving their houses 4 and 5 in the morning to catch a bus to come to work in Grand Anse for 8 o'clock. And after 7, they still stand up at the bus stop just waiting on a bus. Those are the ones being affected. Those are the ones propelling our economy. When you come and tell me about school children. School children are being dealt with in Grenada and being dealt with damn well. But you see, you're not doing an assessment. You want to sound big and you want to make it sound like it's a big shot. So you want to do the program and you want to start it with the school children. And the only reason why you want to do that is because you know why? At the school children level, he's not going to get a feedback. Yeah? He's not going to get a feedback. Because if there's a problem in the school, you feel school children go care once they get in a bus to reach home. But when a man finish work in the evening, and you want to take out the cement that to scratch him, yeah? Or that lady, her heel, start to burn she foot. She bra start to feel too tight, like it choking her. Those are the ones that want to go home. Those are the ones that are being affected. Go and stand up on the terminus 4 5 in the evening. Tell me how much school children you see there struggling to get bus to go home. Tell me how much school children you see after 5 6 in the evening running to go by Lacroix. And the police behind, the bus driver in front, the conductor with the passengers going up by Lacroix roundabout. Some persons, for they want to go home, they're walking from the bus terminus to by the stadium just to get the bus. Those are the ones being affected. So when you come and you talk Papi Show, just for headline, that, you want to create a bus system, a pilot system to assist our school children. Our school children are being affected. The working class of this country are the ones being affected. Go by CKs after 4 5 in the evening. See who's being affected if it's school children. There is not a secondary school in Grand Anse. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to open your eyes to those things. These persons are pretending to themselves as if they don't know what is going on. They're pretending. But they always look for the easy way out. As I said to you, they give you the headline and then they turn their back. What is going on with MNIB? Let us find out the assessment. What has been the assessment from the persons that have been working along with our medical team? How is the regularization? And it's something I'm following up because the last piece I heard is that the regularization process, it is in its second phase, it is going good, and so on and so forth. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to continue to say that. This is a country, at this stage, take it from me, that the finances of this country is not in a bad state. Take it from me. And you may wonder why I'm making that statement. The country's coffers is not in a bad state. What we're having in Grenada is a lot of mismanagement funding. I want to throw you in the back of the class here, me. This country is not in a bad state when it comes to finances. But the mismanagement of the funding in this country is what is affecting us as a people. Where is the money populating? Who's really getting it? Where is it really being spent? Is it being spent on the important things? No is the answer. And so, you heard it and I played it last week. You're hearing one project allocated for $11 million. 2 months after, you're hearing it's allocated for $19 million. By the time the project finishes, you hear the assessment saying it's $22 million. So one, we just get a budget for something. Two, it changes. Then you get a budget, the project never, Stony Good project. Oh my God, Jesus in heaven. Let's not forget that number, $22 million for Stony Good project in St. John's. From the very first budget read. One of both read already. $22 million. Allocated fundings. Allocated funding. You know what I mean by allocate? Where is it? What have you heard about it? Somebody's asking, what is going on with Project 500? What is going on with the WASH program? Well, I can tell you that as of Wednesday, I think the Dunfermline area, the housing scheme there, they're stating that that road will be blocked off for the first phase of Project 500 in that area. Right now, the capital of Grenada is Grand Nance, and the biggest parish is St. David's. Whenever anything happening in this country, if it's not happening in Grand Nance, it's happening in St. David's. The rest of Grenada has been wiped off of the map. I can tell you guys that. But where, and I'm in the south of the island, where it is happening in the south of the island is not for the average or the lower class people. It ain't happening there. Definitely not happening there. It is happening in the upper class, the upper echelons, are the ones benefiting from what this country's coffers is supposed to be giving to us. Every time you talk about something is when NDC addresses it. A post-administration. They deal with things after it is being said. As the Minister Andy Williams said, he never had an idea coming in his head yet. But Project 500 came to him in Carriacou. And he dropped from the boat. And the man stand up there and he asked him if he find that could work. And he tell him by next week, draft up something. And he say by the next week, he say, watch, we can't just build 500. We could build more than 500. And then them field papers stupid. I could tell them that to the face. When they see me, they say hello, they say hi. Because they know I ain't talking shoppiness when I come on this program. Let me see how much of you guys were listening Give me 2 words that go with agriculture in Grenada. For those of you guys who are listening, give me 2 words that goes with agriculture in Grenada. As we end tonight's program, ladies and gentlemen, arm yourself with the information that we disseminate. Ask yourself the questions. Post it on social media. Let it come and answer it. And somebody, some of them nowadays, they just post it and I'll just leave it there. I'm watching the comments and I don't answer it. Because I want to know what is the response. How do you defend that? As I mentioned the road condition yesterday on my social media platform, somebody said before it was worst. So 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, the road condition in Grenada was really bad. Last year, we record one of the second highest dry season in Grenada. Last year, for those of you guys who are abreast with that information, last year we had a very dry season. So the potholes that we see now, the weather condition was given, or it was accepted in the way that we could have fixed the road. So if it was bad before the general election, we saw some serious dry weather for the past 2 to 3 years. But the road condition is still at a deplorable state. And a man answered me and said this morning, when I spoke about the road condition, he said the road was worse than that. But it has not improved. Then I can tell you, it has not improved. As per usual, you have to be one of my good students to get the answer. Thank you, Miss Ferguson. The word that go with agriculture is persuader and lacquer. And put that in your smoke and pipe it. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure being in your company for another wonderful program here this evening. I hope some way or the other you're more drifted in wanting to vote now. Because I want all you to get eager for the thing now. We ought to get eager now. Now is the time. We're 2 years and 5 months away. Time to arm yourself with information. Time to arm yourself. Make sure your ID don't expire. Make sure your name is on the list. Yeah? So at this stage when you're settling, and you should have done that since about late last year. So now your focus is to get other persons involved. Right now, if every supporter of the new National Party convince 5 new voters, 5, that's all we want. 1 person. For those of us who don't vote, get 3. So to every 1 person, solemn supporter of the new National Party, simply get 3 to 5 persons on your team and see what difference he would make. St. John's, we're depending on you. Remember the last general election, we missed it by a mere 12. So there is 12 persons out there that caused the present MP to be sitting where she are. I'm saying to if every person who voted last election, 6 persons required, and you get 3 to 5 persons, we have a mere 18 to 30 persons. We take back with 12 a long time. That's what we do in the maths nowadays. Quick maths. So you, 5 others, 3 persons, that's 18. If 6 of you guys, you, 5 persons, get 5 each, that's 30 persons. We take back 12 already, we 18 now. Simple like that. Once you start to do the maths like that, what Fatman George go say? You win already. You win already. So ladies and gentlemen, catch you back here again tomorrow for another class in session program where we continue to inform and give you information, keep you abreast, get you motivated. Get you motivated. So ladies and gentlemen, blessed evening, and we would speak again tomorrow.
I'm proud, I'm strong. I am a Dominican, yes man. Grenada, Grenada, the land where I was born. I know you were suffering. Men have raped you and abused you and left you there crying. I devote my heart, my body and my soul. I stretch forth my helping hand to help you out. I haven't got diamond, silver, or even gold, but blessings I give to its west, north and south. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come, sweet, sweet Grenada. I will never, ever, ever let you down. Oh no, I'll always be your support, right here by your side. With my arms around you to wipe your weeping eyes. Quite a long time now since you have fallen back to the last rung of the ladder, and your neighbors stand up there and uttering no talk, but to help they just don't bother. Some of your friends have turned their backs on you. They don't want to see a friend with your name on it. Don't bother with them, one day you will rise up too. Cause in times to come, it's the bread they might have to eat. Listen, let me go. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come. Sweet, sweet Grenada. I will never, ever, ever let you down. Oh no, I'll always be your support, right here by your side. With my arms around you to wipe your weeping eyes. Let me go. Listen, it's time that you take a stand to defend your position from all those smart rip-off scams who just come to take a bite and make their own decision and boast to the world that they are the reigning champs. While your friends them happy at times you were going through, they still wouldn't help you out if you beg them please. But woe unto them, little do they know that a good name is better than great riches. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come, sweet, sweet Grenada. I will never, ever, ever let you down. Oh no, I'll always be your support, right here by your side. With my arms around you to wipe your weeping eyes. never let it down. Oh no, I'll always be your support, right here by your side, with a big festival to wipe your weepy night. There we go. If you feel me, feel like me, feel free to say, I love my country. Oh yeah. Grenada, oh I love you, Grenada. I'll always be right by your side, Grenada.